Exodus 3:21, God said, don't leave Egypt empty-handed. Every woman, you would know the women because the women are master askers. Every woman is to ask her neighbor and any woman living in her house for articles of gold, silver, and clothing, which you will put on your sons and daughters. It's interesting, God said, with the clothing, put the clothing on your kids. So when the kids left Egypt, they didn't look like slaves. They were dressed in nice clothing. I think that's missed often in any depiction of what went on here. It's a simple point, but a profound point. God was teaching them to dress for their future. I want you to dress for your future mentally, in the way that you clothe your mind, emotionally, in the way that you allow your emotions to operate. Dress internally, as it were, for your future. Don't dress like the mother or the baby. Don't dress in negativity or fear or disorientation or despair. That's no good for where you're going. And it will become its own kind of distraction. You ever seen someone going to a fancy dress party, but they're not there yet? They're in Starbucks. Or someone dressed for a wedding, but they're on the bus or the tube or the train. They just look so ridiculous because they look out of place. They look overdressed to be in the coffee shop. They also feel embarrassed, feel like they should explain themselves to you all. I don't always dress like this to go for coffee. I'm just on my way to somewhere. Of course, when they get to the event that they're going to and everyone else is dressed like them, they will fit in and not feel awkward anymore. But there's a gap between when you leave home and when you get where you're going. In that gap, you are dressed for where you're going, not where you've come from. You're dressed for where you're going. In that gap, you look ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. No one believes what you're saying. Your prayers sound ridiculous. Your faith and your hope sounds ridiculous because it's not where you're going yet. You're not there yet. And God said to them, get those clothes, put them on your kids, dress for your future. Don't leave looking like slaves because the slave mentality is what beat them. As you go into 2015 and beyond, dress for your future. And your future is the greatest days this church has ever seen. I know you've seen some amazing stuff, but you ain't seen nothing yet. And this whole season you're going through is going to redefine the courage and the strength and the backbone of this church. And you are the ones that are privileged to be here to bring that into the house. Bridges are permanent. Bridges last forever. 25 years from now, when the church is 50 years old, the generation of the church then will speak about this generation now and how grateful they are to stand on the shoulders of this generation that became a bridge between the past and the future. That's your gift to this church for the future. Yes. Because, and we'll get the band back up here. Because if you don't do that, then you don't hand a gift to the future. There are thousands and thousands of people who are yet to join this church, who will know nothing about the season you've been through and will have paid no price for it. But someone has to pay that price. Someone has to keep watch and stand on the walls and be diligent and be strong and focused and bridge this church through to its future. There are thousands who are depending on you to do that. This is a season of transition, and that makes you a transition generation. It is a high and privileged calling, and you are more than capable in God to sustain all that will come to you in this season and come through strong and victorious. Let's all stand together. Come on.